In the world of Westeros, 90 years before the events of Game of Thrones, a young squire named Dunk buries his deceased mentor Sir Arlen of Pennytree. Taking Arlen's sword, shield, and 3 horses, Dunk travels to a tournament being held in Ashford. At an inn, a belligerent drunk noble says he dreamed of Dunk. A bald child that Dunk believes is the stable boy asks to be his squire for the tournament, but Dunk refuses. Dunk meets Plummer, Ashford's steward, and requests to enter the tournament by claiming that Arlen knighted him before dying. Plummer says someone must vouch for him. Dunk seeks out Sir Manfred Dondarrion, whose father was served by Arlen. 2 prostitutes mock Dunk for his ragged appearance and claim Manfred is unavailable, before sympathizing with him. Dunk meets Sir Stephen Fossaway and befriends his squire Raymond Fossaway, before watching a puppet show featuring a fire-breathing dragon puppet performed by Tanzel. Raymond takes Dunk to Sir Lionel Baratheon's feast. Dunk befriends Lionel, who doubts his tournament chances. Dunk finds Manfred, who refuses to vouch for him. Back at his campsite, Dunk re-encounters the bald child, who calls himself Egg. Dunk names himself Sir Duncan the Tall and makes Egg his squire. They see a shooting star, which Egg claims will bring good luck. Dunk eulogizes Arlen to numerous participants at the tournament, including Lord Leo Tyrell, though none remember Arlen serving them. Dunk witnesses the Targaryen princes Baelor, Mirkar, and Aerion arriving. Dunk sneaks into Ashford's castle and overhears that 2 of Mirkar's sons, Daeron and Aegon, are missing. Dunk asks the Targaryens to vouch for him. Baelor remembers Arlen and vouches for Dunk, but advises he create his own coat of arms. Dunk and Egg watch Tanzel perform. Infatuated, Dunk asks Tanzel if she will paint a new coat of arms on his shield, and she agrees to. Lionel drafts Dunk and Egg to help in a tug-of-war game, which they win. Dunk sells his favorite horse, Sweetfoot, to buy new armor from blacksmith Steely Pate. Dunk and Egg watch the tournament's first jousting matches, which include Prince Valar Targaryen and Lord Medgar Tully among the participants. Dunk realizes Arlen has no legacy because he achieved little in life, leaving Dunk despondent that he may end up the same. While Dunk sleeps, Egg trains the warhorse Thunder. He is confronted by Sir Robin Risling, who questions if the horse was stolen. Egg tells Dunk that only highborn knights compete on the tournament's first day. While Dunk buys food, Tanzel says his shield will be ready that evening. Egg requests to permanently squire for Dunk, but Plummer interrupts them. He privately asks Dunk to participate in a rigged joust against Sir Andro Ashford to recoup money spent on hosting the costly tournament. Dunk is baffled by the proposal. During a jousting match, Aerion acts dishonorably and mortally wounds Sir Humphrey Harding's horse, enraging the crowd. A fortune teller predicts that Egg will become king and die in flames. Dunk and Raymond discuss Aerion's jousting match, and Raymond expresses his disdain for the Targaryens. Egg watches Tanzel's performance of a dragon being slain. Feeling his family, the Targaryens, were insulted, Aerion breaks Tanzel's finger. Egg fetches Dunk, who becomes infuriated and attacks the prince. Guards quickly restrain Dunk as Aerion prepares to take revenge, but Egg orders them to stop and reveals that he and Aerion are brothers. Egg tells an imprisoned Dunk that his real name is Aegon Targaryen. He hid his identity to become a squire after his brother Daeron, the belligerent drunk noble from the inn, refused to participate in the tournament. Baelor informs Dunk that Daeron has accused Dunk of kidnapping Egg. Dunk requests a trial by combat, but Aerion demands a trial by 7. Dunk must find 6 knights to fight beside him in a 7 versus 7 joust at dawn. Stefan agrees to fight for Dunk, and Egg says that Daeron, Mirkar, and 3 Kingsguards will fight for Aerion. Daeron apologizes to Dunk and promises to intentionally fall from his horse. He privately tells Dunk about a prophetic dream of seeing Dunk with a dead dragon. Steely Pate informs Dunk that Tanzel has fled Ashford and returned to Dorne, then gives him his shield and armor. As dawn breaks, Egg brings Lionel, Robin, Harding, and Sir Humphrey Beesbury to fight for Dunk, but Stefan switches sides after Aerion promised him a lordship. Lionel knights Raymond to replace Stefan. Still 1 knight short, Dunk appeals to the crowd's honor. Baelor declares that he will fight for Dunk. The trial of 7 begins. In the first charge, Aryan knocks Dunk off his horse. In a series of flashbacks to Dunk's childhood, he and his friend Rafe scavenge from a battlefield. They return to Flea Bottom in King's Landing and pickpocket from Alistair, a city watchman. Dunk and Rafe attempt to buy passage to the free cities in Essos but cannot afford it. Alistair corners them and takes their money. Rafe steals Alistair's dagger, but he notices and slits her throat. Arlen emerges from a tavern and kills Alistair, saving Dunk, who then follows Arlen on his travels. In the present, Dunk duels Arion on foot until both men collapse from injury. After Dunk falls unconscious, Arion declares him dead. Egg begs Dunk to get up, and the crowd chants for Dunk as he stands. Dunk and Arion resume their duel until Dunk gets the upper hand. Arion yields and withdraws his accusation. In the aftermath, Beesbury and Harding are confirmed as killed. Dunk pledges fealty to Baelor. Raymond and Pate help Baelor remove his helmet, which Mirkar struck with his mace during the trial, revealing a fatal wound. Baelor collapses from his injury and dies in Dunk's arms. Lionel invites Dunk to Storm's End, but Dunk believes that he brings only bad luck. Baelor's body is cremated at his funeral. Dunk meets Valar, who questions why his father died but Dunk was left alive. Raymond reveals he has married the prostitute Red, whose real name is Rowan. Mirkar informs Dunk that Arion will spend time in the free cities to atone. He laments that Baelor would have been a good king and invites Dunk to Summerhall and take Egg as his squire. Dunk declines, which Egg overhears. In a flashback, Dunk asks a dying Arlen why he was never knighted. Arlen retorts that a true knight always finishes a story. In the present, Daeron tells Dunk that he should mentor Egg lest he become like Arion. Egg discovers that his hair is regrowing. He takes a knife to Arion's bedroom, but Mirkar calms him down. Dunk asks Mirkar if Egg can squire for him on the road, which Mirkar refuses. Raymond buys Sweetfoot back for Dunk, who then gifts her to Raymond. As Dunk leaves Ashford, Egg arrives and they depart together. Egg suggests that they travel to Dorne. An angry Mirkar later realizes that Egg is gone.